And this is what we focus on in terms of research, teaching, as well as outreach in the mixed reality lab. So this is a shot of the mixed reality lab, and you see some cameras. These cameras that you see are motion capture cameras. We have 8 of those. So using that, you can capture the physical movement of a person. So one of the projects that's ongoing in the lab is to redesign the policeman's utility belt. One of the issues in the US is that, as you might know, Chris, the police utility belt is a really heavy piece of equipment that the policemen have to wear. And you have the baton, you have the gun, you have their walkie-talkies and everything on their utility belt. So what we're trying to do is trying to see if we can redesign the police utility belt to make it more comfortable for the police officers. And we're capturing the movement of the police officers using this motion capture setup. We have a rig of a car, we have a seat and a steering wheel where we can see how the policeman moves within a car. So that's one thing. And these are some of the equipment that we use at the lab. This is the HTC Vive, and we have a couple of Oculuses and a couple of HTC Vives. These are, I mean, I wouldn't consider them to be really expensive, because the one on the top, it costs about $800. The one on the bottom, it costs about the same. I mean, both cost about the same. But compared to earlier stages where when we talked about virtual reality, it costs about $3 million to have a virtual reality rig. But now it's becoming more affordable, so we can use it in different instances. Now, as I mentioned, we use it with our design students. And they use virtual reality to see how it looks and feels like. We also have a high-end virtual reality environment as well, which is a projector-based, stereoscopic 3D projector-based virtual environment. This cost a bit more than the ones that I showed you. Also, now I brought a prop as well. So this is a Gear VR. Has anyone used a Gear VR? Yes? Yes? So I brought this home and I showed it to my mom. And I put on an application where you can watch, you can move through Nepal. And she was like, "You don't need to go anywhere now." It was awesome to see. So I'm going to pass this around. You can take a look at this. You just need a phone and this device. I mean, it's really easy to use. And we use this with our students as well. We also have Google Cardboard, and I'll show that in a bit. It's also a cheap thing to use. Google Cardboard costs about $5. And all you need is a phone and Google Cardboard. Now this is a Galaxy Samsung S6, and you just need this. And let me just load up something. I'll pass this around. I'll let this load up. While it's loading up, this is a Google Cardboard device. So this cardboard costs about $5. You can buy it online. You can buy it, I think it's available in Sri Lanka as well. There are different versions of it, of course. There are plastic versions, there's this cardboard version. You just need a phone and this device. And we are, at the moment, we are developing an application for rural old adults to develop their balance issues. With regard to augmented reality, these are some of the devices that we're using. This, most of you probably have seen or heard of the HoloLens. And this is a Epson Moverio BT200. Both of these are devices that we are using. This one is a bit pricey. It's $3,500. This one, on the other hand, it's about $700. So both have, well, I wouldn't say the same capabilities, but this is a very cheap alternative for augmented reality. With our students, we've used iPads and their phones for augmented reality purposes. So that's the cheaper alternative that I'm talking about. So in my studio, I'm going to show you another example of what I did with my students in terms of teaching. In terms of teaching, we use the Oculus Rift. In the morning session, I talked about how my students used the HTC Vive. Again, the HTC Vive introduced a new paradigm in virtual reality, which is called room scale VR. In one step, you move in the real world, simulating one step in the virtual world. So the student could very easily mock up something that they were designing, and then they could walk around that room using this headset. Also, another cheaper alternative for virtual reality was using Revit architecture. It's a piece of